Hey y'all, I wanted to talk about Hell of Fear Mind Breach. This is a new horror game. It takes place in this main sort of hub area of a facility, and it's in a first-person perspective. This game is mostly action-based with some inventory. It's kind of a mix of Soma and Half-Life. It's like if you took both those games, combined them together, this is kind of the experience you would get. So you get thrown into this facility and you're basically going through trying to unlock of it as much as you can and can proceed forth in the game. You're not really sure what's happening. There's all these kind of dead bodies around, and then there's these creatures that show up. And so you're kind of wandering around trying to figure out, hey, what's going on here? What's happening? In the meantime, you start to pick up some weapons you can use, and you pick up all these items that you might need. Health related, armor related, even items you might use later that you don't know what they're for yet. So this game has a lot of lighting for its experience. You're going to places that are usually dark to begin with, and then as you proceed forth, you unlock the ability to turn the power back on, and then they'll lighten things up. And this game also has that bit of going back and forth. It's a slight Metroidvania in that way, it feels like, where I'd be going to a location and I'm in the dark, I can't see what's going on, I'm using the flashlight, and I go through all these floors, and eventually on one of the floors will be like the power source, and I go find the power source and turn everything on, and then kind of re-explore every place again to find new objects and items I couldn't find before. And sometimes you have to double back to get further into the game. So with the bit that I had played so far, I would hang in an area, and each area would have anywhere from like 4 to 6 floors, and I would go visit each floor, find the power, and then once I'm there, I would go find a key item, usually like a key card that will allow me access to a new different area. So first area, I find a key card, and then I take this tram that kind of takes me to a different location that has another 4 to 6 floors that I have to go through, find the power in that again, get another key card and open a door inside that area, and that's kind of how this game works. You're just finding keys to get you further into the location, and the further you go, then is when the enemies start showing up. The game starts a little slow. Sometimes you'll have an enemy appearance here and there, and then the further you get into it, starts to ramp up. And even got to a certain point where I had to proceed by going into this room and basically fighting off enemies, and goes full on action mode. And so it kind of changes the vibe of the game a bit when all of a sudden you're going like full action scene after this kind of slow build up. So the good thing about the inventory is that even though it runs low after a certain point, you do have these storage boxes. And these things are scattered pretty frequently throughout the map. And by accessing one, you're accessing the same storage. So I go leave stuff in a box here, I go find another box later on in a different room, I'll still be able to find those same items. It's a shared storage system unit, but it has several boxes displayed throughout the map. So another little cool thing, you'll find pieces of steel lying around, and you'll see vents, and depending on where the vent is, you can actually use the steel to block off the vent so enemy doesn't come out and get you. I thought that was a nice little addition. It's not easily accessible for all of them, because some can be really high in ceilings, but if you come across one like at a wall or up top, you can cut that off and put some steel up there. Although it's not something you find all the time, you find it periodically. I would say the objects you find the most are kind of normal health objects and ammunition. I've found those the most. So as you're going through the map of the game, you start with no power, so you have to turn power on. There is an elevator there, but you can't use it if you don't have power. So you navigate through the maps and through the floors by taking a ladder down. And basically what it is a really long ladder. And you use the ladder and you take it between each floor. You can choose what floor you want to go on at any time, but that's how you see how many floors there are. And you basically hop off the ladder to get onto every floor. And then once you find the ability to turn the power on, then you can just easily take the elevator from floor to floor and not have to use the ladder anymore. The gunplay is fine. You have this little pistol you use at the beginning, and you can shoot down enemies. It just takes a few shots to get them down. So starting out against one enemy is not too bad. Killing a little spider takes a couple shots, you're good. A full humanoid zombie monster, it takes a few more. But then once you get 2 or 3 in the same room, it can get a little overwhelming, and you find yourself backing out of the room real quick and trying to shoot from a distance if you can. But you can get overwhelmed really fast, and I've got this area where I'm trying to fight all these enemies, and I've been taken down fairly quickly. I haven't come across it too often, but the shield does run out, and then it affects your health in terms of damage. So you find every once in a while a shield item that basically boosts your shield back up to 100%. I recommend having those, because if you don't have those and you're faced off against multiple enemies, your health will drop real fast and real quick, and you die pretty quickly. So having that shield is very important. I feel like when going through this experience, I would prioritize that. And as far as general health goes, though, there's a lot of health items that you can take. I wouldn't worry too much about that. You're gonna find them everywhere. They're kind of scattered all around. There's like food, kids, all sorts of things that fills up different parts of your health. You got a huge inventory space to kind of begin with, like a good amount, and then you have the store. The game ran fine. I didn't run into any major tech issues or anything that I know of, at least with the part that I played. Ran pretty good. So if you like Soma, if you like Half-Life, this might be worth checking out for you. It's a nice mix of both things. It's, you know, nothing revolutionary of a game, but it's, you know, you don't get games like this that often that kind of remind you of that old school kind of horror PC gameplay style. I'd definitely say it's worth checking out if you're into those type of games and you want to do a little bit more action with a little mix of stealth and just kind of have a fun little time.